Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Keller Williams Realty Technologies System for Success series presentation. Today, we are talking about putting contacts on a touch campaign using eEdge. So in the last Systems for Success presentation we talked about organizing your contacts into groups, and we mentioned that it will help you in your marketing efforts. And that's because you can send specific campaigns to individual groups. You can also, of course, send it to individuals. In this presentation, we're going to show you how to launch a marketing campaign for your groups, for your contacts, how to monitor the campaign's effectiveness, and as your database of leads grows, the automated campaigns are a great way for you to systematize your communications. It's really the best way to stay in touch in a meaningful way. So here is what is on our agenda today. We're going to talk about your campaign goals, what they are. We're going to explain the different campaigns, what you use when. We're going to dive into personalizing the campaigns, and most of this we will be doing live. And then we're going to show you how to send the campaigns. And then lastly, and very much most importantly, is monitoring the campaign activity, because we could be sending these things out all day and all night, but if they are not having a high open rate, a high read rate, or click-through rate, they're really just a lot of information that no one is reading. So we want to be sure we're monitoring that activity. Please let us know if you have any questions over what is on today's agenda. So let's first take a moment to review the basics of a touch campaign. It's important that we know what a touch campaign is. And this comes directly from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. In fact, you're going to find a lot of the eEdge system, if you have read MREA, is simply just MREA in a technology tool. It's the ability to systematize your contacts and systematize the communication, the systematic, or I should say, the model for generating leads and building relationships is all about building groups, and then communicating to those relationships is all about your marketing strategy. So a touch campaign is a series of systematic, consistent, and purposeful contacts with people in your database. That's simply what it is. And a touch, it doesn't actually have to be a physical touch. It can be a handshake, of course, but it can be a personal visit. It can be a phone call, handwritten note, an email, a newsletter, a market report, a greeting card, an interaction through social media, and so on. So there are several ways of establishing a touch. Now, every touch should convey the meaning and the value to potential buyers and sellers. It should always include a reminder to send you referrals, because that is the biggest opportunity for business. And of course, it needs to include a method for contacting you directly, what we're going to call a call to action. Here are the campaign choices that you have available to you through the eEdge system. The first is the 8x8 campaign. That's 8 touches in 8 weeks. An 8x8 campaign is typically sent to individuals. It can be sent to a group. For example, if you have a group of people visiting your open house, that group could be sent the 8x8 program, because it is an aggressive way of telling someone you need to buy or sell right now. It's the way of convincing them now is the time to buy, and it's a way of convincing them you are the person they should buy from. So that's the 8x8. 8 touches in 8 weeks. And as I mentioned, as soon as you meet somebody and you put them in your contact database, as soon as you get a new lead, you put them on an 8x8 campaign. That way they are immediately getting the information from you, and our goal is to have them see you as the expert, sign you as their exclusive agent in those 8 weeks. The next is the 33 touch campaign. After the 8x8 has completed, you're going to put them on a 33 touch. That's 33 touches in 1 year. So now we've touched them 41 times in a year. hopefully they will remember us and see us as top of mind. We'll continue this process until they do become a buyer and seller. And then we have the 12 direct, and the 12 direct is a little bit more of a once a month touch. If you want to think about it in terms, you can customize any of these touches to go out at any time. 12 direct is going to be sent out with different opportunities. And then lastly is a personal campaign. The personal campaign is all of these touches, but we are now personalizing them. All right, so let's take a look at these in a little bit more detail. So the first step, as I mentioned, in building a relationship with a new contact is the 8x8 campaign. We have several 8x8 campaigns to choose from in the Edge. They all have timely information that's relevant to the market of the moment, and they're designed to attract new buyer and seller. They're designed to attract those buyers and sellers. When we say attract them to you, to see you as the source. They consist of a combination of phone call reminders and professionally designed pieces that can be emailed, they can be printed, they can be sent direct mail, or all three. It's entirely up to you. The campaign is sent out in what we call intervals. An 8x8 is an interval campaign. That means the first piece goes out one day after the contact is added. That's important for you all to remember. One piece after the contact is added. So if you've met someone, if you have them as a new lead, you need to respond to them immediately, hopefully within that golden 5-minute time frame. So if you're able to respond to them immediately within that 5-minute time frame with an email or a phone call, then you can put them on the 8x8. They're going to get a follow-up from you the next day. Don't wait for the 8x8 to do the work for you the next day. We want to respond to them sooner than that. So we have our initial response, then we're going to do our 8x8. So that's what an interval piece is. A first piece goes out one day after the contact is added. Second piece, 7 days after the first piece. Third piece, 7 days after the second piece, and so on until the 8th week is completed. This campaign, as we mentioned, is intended to be an aggressive reminder of why it's important to buy or sell a home with you right now. Now, when the 8x8 campaign ends, and if you haven't convinced that buyer or seller to sign you as their exclusive agent, we want to continue to build that relationship. It's really important we continue to build it because they're going to forget about us in week 9. So the 33 touch campaign consists of 33 touches over a year. And by immediately following an 8x8 with a 33 touch, now you're reminding them of your value. You're sending them valuable, useful information, and as we mentioned, 41 times in 14 months. This is how we're going to stay top of mind. Remember that word, top of mind. Always want to be the first or the second that someone thinks of when they're thinking of who can help me or someone I know sell real estate. If you're not first or second, you will not be thought of, unfortunately. The 12 Direct campaign. 12 Direct campaign contains one touch every month. These are great for agents who are sending to a farm. If you've read Millionaire Real Estate Agent, you're familiar with the haven't mets, but we do have a group of haven't mets that we can directly market to. And that group of haven't mets we can directly market to, that we have an opportunity to meet, is our farm. So we want to use the 12 directs. We can send that to the farm. We can pass out the flyers. We can mail them directly. And we can also utilize the electronic versions of these cards to send out to our family members, those that have just recently bought or sold with us. We're not going to want to continue to keep them on a 33 touch if they've just bought or sold with us. Now we can put them on a 12 Direct campaign, on a Did You Know campaign, and help them to keep their house maintained. You'll also notice this month in real estate, we can send a newsletter to them through email every month with relevant, useful information. And really the important part of those is that you can customize them. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment. Now that we know about the types of campaigns that we have, let's find the right campaign details. That's really what we want to find those details. So you can access my marketing directly from mykw.kw.com. You'll expand the My Marketing menu, and then you can choose from any of those modules. And what we'll do is we will actually show you some of this live so you can see the process. And we don't expect for y'all to follow us along, but here it is on our Annie Agent's website. So here you see Annie Agent's website. We're going to expand the My Marketing menu, just open that up for you all, and drop down to Manage and Create Campaigns. And we'll let the system build up, and it'll take us to our Marketing Center's homepage. Okay, so here we are on the Marketing Center's homepage. You'll all notice the dashboard. Looks a little bit different. Here's our campaign options available for us, and we mentioned the interval campaigns and wanted to mention the 33 touches, a date-based campaign. The date-based campaign means that it is sent out on a specific date. What we can do here is we can click on Create New Campaign, and we'll be able to see the options of campaigns that we can choose from. We can choose from all types. You'll notice we have date campaign, which is going to be the 12 directs and the 33 touches. And that means that if we add somebody to a campaign in April, they're going to get the April touch. If we add them in January, they're going to get the January touch, and so forth. So they don't start from the beginning. They will get whatever touch that particular date falls on. So that's what we mean by a date-based campaign. If we look at an interval campaign, you'll notice that we have some that are in intervals. For example, the buyer's 8x8 campaign is an interval campaign. So these are campaigns that are sent out days after one campaign is sent out 7 days after the additional campaign. So let's go ahead and choose a campaign, because now we have the ability to edit the campaigns after we choose a current campaign. You'll notice here we have our email open rates, direct mail rates. This is one way that you can monitor the activity of a campaign. You can also do it on the dashboard. If we look at step one, we can simply just rename the campaign. This is for our information only. This would be an opportunity for you to rename the campaign. For example, a great time to buy if it was an open house that you have, an open house group that you just got that you're using this campaign for. You would name it the open house address so that you know right away this was the open house campaign going to the open house group. The second is to review and configure the steps. This is where you'll do most of your personalizing. So you notice step 2 has most of the information in it. It's giving you each step. So we actually have a total of 8 steps, one of which is a phone call. Actually, 2 of them are a phone call. So we're going to look at those that we can personalize. If you look at the option here to personalize, which I just clicked that button, now we can change some of the information that's here using the content editor. So we can add additional photos. If we had a logo that we wanted to add, we could add that image here. We could change any of the content that it allows us to change. So you'll notice I could just simply delete all that information, add my own content. If I did my own video, we could add our own video here and so forth. So all of this is quickly customizable. You can add your own unique flair to it, add some additional information about your unique area, and then make it truly yours. And be sure to save when you're done. We're not here necessarily to talk about the customization of the pieces. It's more about adding the context, but we did want to show you all the ability to to personalize the pieces, and I wanted you to see what the action items look like on the phone calls, because you will get a reminder saying call this person and say this. So it's all there for you. And of course, you can change it to your own script. You can even get your bold scripts, your scripts that you get from even your map scripts and so forth. You can take those and paste them in here and personalize those on your own, saving all of that information. So we will add the information. One additional thing you can do, you can add steps. So you could make this 9 by 9. That's 9 steps in 9 weeks, or even an 8 by 9. That's 8 touches in 9 weeks. Maybe you add an additional step in a week. You can add a step, and you can add it by email, by the activity, or direct mail. Very flexible, very customizable. All right, the last piece of this is adding the contacts. That's probably one of the most important pieces of this, is we want to add the contacts to our campaign, and we're going to do that simply by finding the contacts in the list. We can find people by status, which is really great if we have a status of people we want to send to. Maybe we created a campaign of touches where we want to re-engage people. We could do a re-engage email, 8 touches in 8 weeks. We have a lot of agents that have their own custom programs. You can use this tool in order to do that, finding those statuses. And then, of course, you can find by groups. As we mentioned, if we had a particular open house group that we created, we could put that open house visitors there, create that group, and then add those visitors over, or add that entire group. Once we've done that, then we will review and activate the campaign. That's the most important part of this entire process, is reviewing and activating. Okay, so we want to say, yes, we reviewed the campaign. We also want to say, yes, I agree that all of the email recipients on here have opted in to receive emails from me. I've not harvested this list. I have not purchased this list. This is going to be a big problem for me if I have done that, and I'm checking this box. Last is showcase properties. Just quickly, I will show you showcase properties. I believe is under create marketing. I'm sorry, it is under market my listings, showcase properties. You have the ability to include 3 additional properties as a showcase properties that will show up on every single piece that you have. Okay, so we showed you how to create the campaign. We showed you how to edit, personalize the campaign, add your contacts to the campaign, activate the campaign. As soon as you hit activate campaign, it will send in 24 hours. Not in 24 hours, it'll send the next day. Now we want to monitor the campaign activity, and we're going to do that, as I mentioned, within the campaign itself. You'll be able to see the amount of pieces that were sent, how many opened them, and then the click-through rate. If you added any links in your piece, if you personalized it, or if there's any links embedded in the piece, it will tell you how many times that piece was clicked through. So very important we monitor that, because if we have a piece that went out that has a high open rate, if we have a piece that went out that has a high open rate, that means that your subject line right here, the email subject line, was very interesting to them, and it was enticing enough for them to open it. You need to think about that and think about, what did I do to make them open it? If it has a low open rate or no open rate, which is naturally the lowest open rate you can get, then once again, check out your subject line, because it's obviously not catchy enough. Question came in. Great question. Mahasa asks, hello, my friend Mahasa. Mahasa asks, I agree that all email recipients have opted to receive in. Does that mean that we have to ask all of our contacts prior to sending the email campaigns to them? Great question. So the answer to that, Mahasa, is if you received their email in any way, they emailed you, they gave you their business card, they signed up for something, you've received it in some way without going out and buying it, or what we say harvesting it. That means you went and scraped a site. Most of us don't know how to do that. Well, that means that you obtained it illegally, or in not the right way. The word's escaping me, but you didn't receive it in the most compliant way. And those are the ways that I just explained to you are the most compliant way. They gave it to you, and somehow then they have opted in, so you are good to go. Is it possible to download emails contained in the various campaigns? Not sure what that means. Chris, could you repeat the question? While questions are coming in, here's your action plan. We all want you to establish your campaign goals. Go find the right campaign designs for what you want to do. Let's personalize those campaigns. Let's monitor that activity, see what those campaigns are doing. And thank you all for being here. What are your questions? What are your ahas? And I want to know what's the one thing that you're going to do. And by doing that, everything else will be easier or unnecessary. And I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that you can do that will make everything else easier or unnecessary is sending out those campaigns, getting your contacts on those 8x8s, 33 touches, staying engaged with them, because that means you're always going to have leads. You're always going to keep that coffer full. You will be able to have more contracts written, contracts closed, and that will give you more business, which means you can hire an assistant to do all that other stuff, and you just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you all very much for being here. I'm going to answer the additional questions and stopping the recording.